Like we probably all need a little extra zen in the den, which is the kingdom of the mind, being in a space where we're able to create something brand new. So I got a little Palo Santo going. I have the awareness of what we can do and create in this breath in this moment. Luckily, we always have that. So the magic is to be in that space where we are constantly aware of what we have the power to create. A little Palo Santo helps. It clears the old energy, invites in the new energy, and sometimes we need a little help to clear out the old energy because the old energy is what was. Anything in the past, anything that happened moments ago, last week, last year, yesterday, and we have our state of being and state of mind in a space where we're bringing in whatever it is we wanted from the past into our present. I'm suggesting that what is has the ability to replace what was, and also then has the ability to lay the foundation for what will be. And when we start getting really clear about our power, the ability we have to start shifting our frame of reference, because time is kind of an arbitrary concept. Not kind of, it is. It's relative. It's relative to where you were, where you are, and where you think you're going. So if we're able to shift our space, our state of mind, so that we are constantly accessing the energy, the emotional space that we want more of, then everything falls into an effortless space of being. We don't feel like we have to force so much. We don't have to manipulate. We don't have to struggle. We get the freedom to literally manifest everything we want right now. So I talk a lot about delusional happiness. What does that mean? It means creating a space where in this moment we believe that everything we've ever wanted already exists. So we don't fall victim to those critical thoughts, judgmental thoughts. We don't fall victim to doubt or insecurity or instability. We create a space where we are so confident in our ability to manifest everything that we want that that's all we do, that there is no other option. We leave no room for anything else other than what we want. Because frankly, we deserve that. We don't want to invite in a space where we're holding on to guilt or resentment or struggle from the past. We want to be in a space where we're actively inviting in everything we want right now. So, allowing in one breath at a time, one thought at a time, one word at a time, that gives us more of the space of being that we want to be in always. There's no reason to repeat pain, suffering, guilt, resentment, anger, frustration. There's no reason to invite it into our now unless for some reason we think it's going to serve us in the present. So understand that every time we wake up in the morning, we have the ability to redefine ourselves, to create something brand new that maybe never existed before, so that we're never in this struggle, this tug of war between attachment to what was or expectation of what will be. We have a sense of freedom, and that freedom lies in our ability to create anything we want in the kingdom of our minds right now. Allowing yourself to maybe have one word, one emotion, one thought that brings you into a space of power. Because if we don't hold on to the power that we have in this present moment, we lose it if we give up our energy to the past. We get anxious about a future that doesn't even exist yet. Our power exists in our thoughts right now. And that's where that whole delusional happiness concept comes in. It gives you a space where you recognize how to focus your energy and awareness into this one thing right now. And that thing, well, this is your present, your gift, your opportunity. So allowing what is to replace what was. So there's a space, literally, the first moment when you wake up in the morning, there's a clean slate. You can be anyone you want to be, feel anything you want to feel. There's nothing is imposing itself on you. So rather than waking up in the morning and opening up the cell phone and checking Facebook, Instagram, email, text messages, whatever it is the normal protocol or routine might be, rather than doing that, change the routine, change the pattern, change the habits. Because if we think about every single day of our lives, if we were to map out our moments, how often do we give ourselves the opportunity for something brand new? So rather than having the same sequence of events from the moment you wake up. Change it up. That's how meditation changes lives. Because when you allow yourself that clean slate, that space of stillness and silence, you have the ability to invite in anything. Whereas if you just wake up in the morning and you flip on the cell phone or you flip on the TV and watch the news, which probably is the worst thing you could do for your mental health, if you allow what's coming in from the outside to infiltrate your inside, it's hard to create a state of mind and a state of being that you actually want to be in, because you've already fallen victim to whatever that external stimuli is. We have an option. That option is everything, the infinite, so that we're not restricted by what someone else is telling us to feel, think, or do. We're not limited by whatever's gone on in news over the course of the night while we've been sleeping. We're not having seeds planted in our mind of what we should be feeling, thinking, and doing. We have a space of freedom. Because be clear, if I give you the choice between one or two things to feel, I've already limited you. If somebody is giving you a choice between 1, 2, and 3, then you're already limited. There's no freedom in that. Options that someone else presents to you is restricting. They're trying to force you to pick between that 1, 2, or 3. I'm suggesting that you have the option for the infinite, that you can literally create anything, feel anything, be anything, and let it start when you first wake up in the morning. So there is a clean slate. There's a blank canvas. There's no one telling you how to feel, what to do, what to think, who to be. You have the option to create anything. What is replaces what was and gives you the opportunity to create what will be. When you feel powerful in this breath, in this thought, with no obligation, with no expectation, with no attachment, that's the access to the infinite. And it starts one thought at a time. So if you can start the morning that way, start the day that way, just allow yourself in the deep space of the breath to feel free, to feel that as you invite in that inhale, that everything is possible. Anything is possible. And as you let that exhale go, just think about what you're going to contribute to the world. Think about what options you have, because the options literally are infinite. All it requires is one thought to change everything, one word to change everything, one idea to change everything. So what impact will you have? So maybe start by asking, why are you here? What's your purpose? What's your intention? What do you want to inspire in the world? How do you want to be remembered? What legacy will you leave behind? What starts with the energy that you offer to yourself? So raise the standard of care, of treatment, so that everyone who comes into your life sees the way you treat yourself, sees the high standard of care that you offer to yourself. They see how you speak about yourself, what you think about yourself. And then they're obligated to raise the standard of care they offer to you. We're the example. The world's watching us. They're watching us to see how we show up, to have an idea of how they're going to show up for us. So we got to make sure that we set that standard in a way that we're not settling. We're not compromising. We're not sacrificing. We're in a very clear space where we know exactly what we want to create. And even if there's a little wiggle room in there, maybe you don't know what you want 5, 10 years from now, but you know certainly how you want to feel, because everything we want is rooted in an emotion. It's rooted in a feeling. It's never the thing we think we want. It's the feeling we think the thing is going to bring to us. So what can we do in this moment to manifest that feeling, to create it, to live in it? We think it, we speak it, we become it. It really is that simple. To create a space in mind, a level of mind, an emotional space from which we live and invite in everything, from which we interact with others. So we don't engage in conversations that are limiting. We don't foster energy that's not in alignment with what we want more of. So if we find ourselves saying something negative about someone else, we realize that that's not the energy we want to invite into our space. If we find ourselves gossiping, criticizing, judging, that's not the energy we want to invite into our space. So we got to make a choice when we wake up in the morning, a choice to live in alignment with the energy that we ultimately want for our lives and the energy we want to see in the world. It's a clear choice. The choice should be obvious. And it's not because somebody else has given you options with which from that you're supposed to choose from. It's because you give yourself the option to access the infinite, because you deserve that. You've earned it because you exist. If right now is all you need, take advantage of it. Be clear, mindful, purposeful, deliberate, intentional. So intention in thought manifests as intention in word, communicated as intention in action that resonates long after your physical body is gone. What is replaces what was and determines what will be. And we have the complete control to create what is right now. It's a matter of being very clear and focused about what it is we want to create, being purposeful in creating that, being mindful and deliberate and allowing it into the space of now. And all we need is this moment and this thought to do it. So think about what exactly you're going to create. Start creating it before you go to sleep at night. Make sure you remember it, recall it, repeat it first thing when you wake up in the morning. So there is no confusion. So the universe doesn't have to figure out what you want. No one in your life has to ask you what you want because you're explicit, you're clear, it's obvious, especially to the oblivious, so that no one ever has to ask you why you're doing what you're doing. Everyone already knows because it's written all over your face. It's in your body language. It's in your tone of voice. It's in your action. You're already doing it. You're living in alignment with it. So there is no confusion. There's no wiggle room. There's no space to waffle back and forth between what you want to create and what you're doing, because you're already doing it. Setting the intention to start that way first thing in the morning is huge. So create a mantra, create a reminder, maybe write down at night in a journal what exactly it is you want. So the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is you read it and maybe add something to it. And then take that into your meditation, whether it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. Sit in stillness and silence and think about just that one thing that you want. People are always like, well, how do you create happiness? How do you shift the way you feel? If you're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, depressed, anxious, how do you shift that? Well, you shift your focus. You shift what you're investing your energy on. What are you spending your energy in? That's where the shift happens. And you don't need anything external for that. It's all internal. So give yourself the freedom of space. And that space exists in what is. Because what is replaces what was and determines what will be. There's no better time to manifest what you want than now. No one better to do it than you. Don't let somebody else or something else manifest what your destiny and your emotional space and your energy is. That'd be doing yourself a disservice. Because you deserve more. You've earned more. We've all earned more just by showing up. Showing up in this space of now, could easily drift off, could be easily flipping through the television, just letting your mind be, taken along for the ride. And we all see people that live a life and are in a space that's not entirely serving them. Well, we don't want to be one of those people. We want to be intentional, deliberate. So allow what is to replace what was and to determine what will be. This is the way. It's one thought at a time. So you don't have to wonder how somebody finds the bliss, happiness, joy, ecstasy that they're living in. That delusional happiness thing, it starts with one thought at a time. What is replaces what was and manifests what will be. It's a very clear sequence of events. There's no confusion. It's like ABC, 1, 2, 3. What is replaces what was and determines what will be. So think what you seek. and speak what you seek until you feel and see what you've said. What is replaces what was and determines what will be. Blessings, blessings, and blessings. Spoken Word Yoga. Namaste.